Hi everyone, hope you're all doing great. Welcome to the day 7. I see very less people. We'll start the session soon. So we are still 108 viewers more. We'll start the session when we reach 200 plus viewers. So kindly share the link with your friends and tell them to join soon. This is the last day, so you'll be getting a practical experience about the live project and more details about the Olympiad, what we have discussed in the previous sessions. అసలు భయమేస్తుంది. Come on, people, 40 more to go. Do share the link sooner. So, can I know in the chat session, like how many attended all the 7 days of this training boot camp? Like all the 6 days till now? Can I see some symbols or chat? Like typing S in the chat session, like I have attended all the 6 days. Wow, Dinesh, you have attended. Mahesh, Hitesh, good. Nerd have attended it. Jayashree, wonderful. Abhignya, majestic wave. Okay, tips and tricks games. Wow, that's wonderful of you guys. Hope you liked all the sessions till now. Homlika have attended it. Sindhu, Naveen Kumar, Gagan, Vatsal. That's great. Like I guess we have created a bit of impact by doing this boot camp to you all. Yes, ma'am, it was very fun. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nitish, yes, you have attended. That's great. Ujwala, wow. Vaishnavi, yes. Yep, we are of do not five people. Yes, yes, I can see many people. Yes, this is a very informative and interactive bootcamp I have participated. Kudos to the sir and the team. Thank you, Yamini, for your feedback. Okay, I have missed the last session. Will I still get my certificate? Okay, you will be like try to attend the session till last today. We will be discussing about the certification sooner in the community. It's a very informative session, Dikshita. Thank you.
All right, guys. So I'm here. How are you all doing? Woohoo! So of course, yeah, last day. I hope all of you are excited. I was just waiting for people to reach above 200 so that we could start. So how are you all doing, guys? Can you please spam the chat? Put some rockets. Put something, guys. Put some crazy answers. Make this chat a bit more interesting. Make it sound like young people are having this thing. All right, cool. Looks really really good. So a lot of people who are waiting for me. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being patient. So guys, um, before we start, I would like to extend my what do we say special thanks to these three people who are here. Actually, this bootcamp was envisioned by GDSE MBU. I would like to thank Rakesh, who is the lead, who approached me, who convinced me to come as a resource person for this, or else I wouldn't have been doing this because uh, of course doing a 9 to 5 job and again coming home and taking this boot camp and all, it would have been a bit sort of stressful, but somehow of course I took time for you guys so that we could make some impact, we could learn something, at least somebody could get introduced to machine learning and of course go home and apply stuff which could help you guys in future. So guys, I would like to thank Rakesh, Deepak, Charishma, who have been uh, moderating all of the boot camp, all of the background work in a very, very streamlined way. So thank you so much, guys. And of course, if you guys are watching IPL, please don't forget that in the resources I'll also give IPL data analytics. So of course, resources will be given by tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning we're going to have two things. Number one, we'll give you all the resources, PPTs, and also what I'll try to do is give you a set of links of Kaggle notebooks of what we did from day one till today. So today we won't be using Kaggle. We will be using VS Code. So guys, I hope all of you are excited. So Another thing which I would like to tell that we didn't want any one of you to be sad or to be what do we say, having a frown. So guys, whoever attended, even if a single day, we have participation certificates for everyone, but you have to make sure that at least you filled one attendance form. So but you have to give us a promise. Guess what that promise is? Any guesses? That promise is you guys have to go back, see all the sessions, share it with your friends, share knowledge, keep practicing a lot. So this is the promise I need from you guys, that you will go back to our channel, subscribe it, then see all the sessions and practice as much as you can. So guys, practice, and also share it with your friends, share that these are some sort of a set of people who are going to teach you ML and stuff. So guys, one more thing, if you have not participated in ML Olympiad yet, go participate. Make sure you make a submission by uh, in a couple of days or so, because your first submissions won't be your best one. So it will take around 2 to 3 iterations to make your code better and better. And we have only, I think, 12 or 11 days left for ML Olympiad to end. So guys, go make a submission, and if you have any problem, you guys can come back to us in the chat and we'll love to help you. So without wasting any time, so let's start off a very nice project that I have planned for you guys. So, guys, before we start, I would like you guys to do three things. Number one, if you don't have VS Code, please install VS Code. Number two, if you don't have Python installed, please install Python. Of course, I don't have any presentation for you today because I don't want to waste your time. Let's directly jump into the code. So, I'll be sharing the link of how to install Python if you guys don't have it in your local machine. So, basically, guys, there is a simple kind of MSI installer. You can simply use command line to install it. I'll share the link in the chat. So this is from where you can install Python, and I'll also try to share the Mac link if Mac is there over here. Let me check. Hmm. Also, guys, for some people it might be a problem because you're trying to install it on an M2 chip. So there might be, I'm like not 100% sure, there might be a problem. So mostly it won't be, but you guys try to what do we say, uh, make sure you don't have any problem. So try to follow the documentation whatever these guys gave in these links. So according to that, try to install Python. Till then, let's have a look at the code. Till then, I'll be explaining the code so that you can leave Python to install, and also VS Code. So once VS Code also installs, there is another Python extension to it. I'll show you everything. So guys, without wasting any time, let's quickly dive into the code. I'll show you how the code is, what is it, and I'll also host it right away on GitHub so that you guys can um, try to build something out of it. So firstly, I think I have to install. Right, perfect. Also, guys, in the chat, just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Whoops. Here you go. Alright, guys, before I start showing you all of this code, let me simply show you a simple file where what I'll do is I'll remove all of these things. Okay, I'll just keep this one. Done. So guys, this project idea was given, before I start, this project idea is given by a very good person called as Anuj Vyas. A huge shout out to him. And this project was discovered, I think it was, I discovered it on GitHub somewhere while making something around 2 to 3 years ago. So guys, this is a very basic project which helped me in my what do we say, beginning of like when I was beginning my learning curve in ML and connecting it to the front end, and when I was trying to deploy machine learning applications on the front end. So this was the initial one of the initial uh, repositories which helped me out. So guys, a huge shout out to Anuj Vyas. I don't know if that person will watch this video or not, but uh, that person has done a good job, and I still don't think that this is deployed because it has been really a long time. So let us continue with the code. So firstly guys, what we'll do is um, we'll try to make one ML application just like we saw yesterday. So ML notebook, let's call it an ML notebook. So that notebook, it is not actually a notebook, so let's call it ML model. So ML model, and what we'll try to do is we'll try to uh, make sure that it accepts input, and then we'll also try to make sure that it gives an output. All right, so this is how our ML model is. So guys, let me do one thing. Let me show you some other stuff, maybe in Jamboard or something, so it'll be better. It'll be better for you guys to understand. Okay. Also guys, if you are a very fond user of Google Meet, you will be shocked to know that Jamboard is going to end soon. They are going to remove Jamboard from Google Meet because Jamboard will be discontinued. So yeah, a sort of a very good application it was, which is no longer going to be used. So all right guys, so this is our canvas. Here I'll try to show you how our project is going to be today. So guys, basically what we'll do is what we were doing since day 1 to day 6 is, I'll tell you. So this is our, let's say, Python notebook, or let's say something which writes uh, something that does some ML stuff. Okay, so let's call it ML stuff. For you guys to understand in a very easy manner, I'm keeping it very sort of simple. Let's call this thing ML stuff. So what we were doing is we were simply giving inputs inside this, using everything inside this. So basically it was around a Kaggle notebook itself. In any, like, not only just Kaggle notebook, whatever notebook it is, collab or something, whatever you guys used. So basically everything which we did was inside this. So now what our challenge over here is, we have to uh, have one sort of web app or one sort of user interface in which user will be giving us inputs, and also that user should also be seeing the corresponding output. So this user interface should be interactive. So now what should happen is, this particular user should be sending some input to the ML stuff, and that should be returning some output so that it could be shown. So this is the use case now. So there should be one sort of messenger in between to communicate this thing from here till here. So what we will do is, also there should be something which sort of does a function which will be like a set of instructions which will generally sort of handle all these things. So that person is going to be our backend. I'll tell you how that will be. So this ML stuff will be replaced by something called as a backend, or else a service, an API service. And we are going to do this API service in Flask. So basically what we'll do is write a function which communicates between the UI and the ML model. So what I'll do is, here still the UI remains just like we discussed yesterday. If people were not user interface which gives inputs and expects outputs, gives inputs and expects. Oops. All right, so let me six fine. All right. So this kind of UI or something that gives input and expects output. So what is going to take this input? Simply guys, our ML model is going to take the input. ML model will take input, takes input, runs the algorithm, returns prediction as output. So guys, a lot of you were asking about Streamlit and all, but Streamlit stuff, I'll give you the code to how to do Streamlit and all, but this is purely based on HTML and CSS. It's not on Streamlit. So here we'll be using HTML and CSS. Here, of course, we'll be using any of the machine learning libraries like Random Forest, of course, Python. And for API service, we'll be using Flask. So basically, how this will be happening is like a basic three-way handshake. So this gives input to the API service, which has a set of functions to send it to here, and then it returns the output back to this, which will return the uh, output to this one, and it will reflect the corresponding UI. So guys, this is how basically what we are trying to do stuff today. So any questions till here? Which API services can we use other than Flask? We can use a lot. We can use a lot, guys. We can use Django. We can use Node.js as well. But here, for this small sort of use case, we are using Flask because this is, of course, a small use case. We need not make it very, very complex by using some huge things. So one person is asking, does ML require dedicated graphic cards like GTS 1650? Kindly reply. Guys, why do you need a GTX 1650 to do ML? God, why? You don't need that. So that is for like very huge purposes, not especially not for making today's project. So if you are learning ML, then definitely not. If you are a very big practitioner, you're a huge sort of seasoned developer, then maybe yes, maybe yes. So a lot of people are asking, can I use Replit? So I don't suggest using Replit, but if it is good, please give it a go. All right, guys. So basically, this is how it is, and then now I'll jump into the code, and I'll explain you first things first. I'll explain you how we have written the ML part of this, and then I'll go to the front end and the back end. So this, guys, please try to focus over here. You need not kind of just a minute. What? Mm, just a minute. Alright, guys, there was a sort of network glitch. I'm back. So let me present the screen and I'll show you the code. Mm-hmm. VS Code, VS Code, VS Code. Hmm, interesting. Very interesting. Just a minute, guys. Hold on. Address bar. I started my ML journey, so it was like 2019. It was in 2019, guys. IoT. Alright, guys, there seems to be a problem with my presentation, so I'm sharing whole of my screen. So, can any of the volunteers let me know if you guys can see VS Code or something like that on my screen? You can unmute yourselves and talk because I think I cannot
Yes, yes,
switch
it is
between the chat
visible.
or something. Alright, VS Code, yes.
Yes, VS Code is visible.
Alright, perfect. So, guys, uh, firstly, let me directly jump into the ML model. I'll explain you what you are doing since the past 6 days and what we are applying over here. Then I'll go to the project structure. So, guys, here I have something called as predictor. Let's forget all these things. Let's also forget this. Let's forget what is in the debug log. So, um, here what am I doing is I'm importing NumPy, pandas, and something called as pickle. So I'll tell you what will we do using pickle and why pickling is needed, what is exactly called as pickling. So here I'm using something called as kaggleddiabetes.csv. I'll also show you how the file is. All right, so guys, as you can see here, there's actually a csv file. So what I'll do is just a minute. So you can install something called as Rainbow CSV to view CSV files. I think I have already installed it. No, just now it was installed. Okay, so what Rainbow CSV does it creates a sort of different colors so that you can view these things easily. So as you can see, all the what do we say, values in the red are the same, all the values in the white and blue are the same. So Rainbow CSV helps you do that. So guys, the glucose is red, so which means all the values which are red are glucose. So that is what it does. Or else you can simply use Excel to sort of view these files. So what I'll do is I'll basically open my drive and I'll drop this so that I can view it easily in Excel. So let me do that very quickly. Okay, so here is my file. What I'll try to do is I'll simply drag and drop this file inside. Oops, where did it go? Yep, here you go. So I'll view it using Google Sheets. So guys, I've uploaded it. Firstly, let's understand the data. All right, dismiss. Yep. Firstly, let's understand the data, how it is. So, guys, as you can see here, there is something called as pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, and there is something called as DPF. It is called as diabetes pedigree function. So guys, basically these are all the stuff which generally we know. We know how much our BP is, we know how much our glucose is, how much our insulin level is. So we might not know it. So people who have diabetes or who are what do we say, actively monitoring their health constantly know this. So they do their what do we say, complete blood picture, CBP report on a very regular scale. So also they have different sort of tools by which they calculate all the stuff. So this thing becomes very easy for them to fill. So once they fill this, they'll get an outcome. So as you can see guys here, there is outcome in 1 and 0. So basically it is a binary outcome. So just like a simple classification model we can build, because it is fetching all these features over one label, and this outcome is basically becoming our target variable. So we can easily do a classification model on this. So as you can see, as the insulin is high over here, we are getting 0, and also low insulin will get a 0, because there are two types of diabetes. There is I think I really don't know the medical terms of it, but there are two types of diabetes when your insulin gets way higher and way lower. So this is how the data is, this is how we understand it. So basically these are our inputs. So our user should input all these values to get a output, which will be the ultimate prediction that that person has diabetes or not. So basically all of these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 values should be taken as inputs. So basically 8 uh, text fields or input fields. After 8 input fields, what we'll do is we'll capture these values and do a prediction on it, run the machine learning model, and then give the user corresponding output. So guys, let me go back to VS Code. Now we have understood our data. So let's go back to our predictor and see what I have done. So guys, firstly what I have done is taken some this was a very big name, so I just named it DPF, diabetes pedigree function. So I'm just easing up the columns. So what have I done here is basically I'm replacing the NaN values. There are something called as null values or NaN values which don't have anything. So what am I doing here is simply taking the mean of the other values and filling what do we say, these NaNs. So if there is, let's say, let me show if there is any NaN value here inside. I think there are no, I think they are replaced with zeros over here in this maybe. Let me do a control F and find NaN. One, nope. Okay, so we don't basically have anything over here, or else maybe they have been replaced by the zero. So if we have the, what this function basically does is it does like the data processing part, the pre-processing. If there is a null value, then it takes the mean and fills it off, so that we have a clean data. So moving ahead, simply guys, on this I'm building a model. From this I'm dropping outcome, which will be our x, and you guys know what x is. And then y will be our target variable, which will be just our outcome. So guys, till here, this is the exact thing which we've been doing since the past 6 days. The, what do we say, feature and the label, the dependent variable and the independent variable. So basically we are uh, trying to predict the outcome. So what we'll do is take outcome as y and take all the other things except the outcome column into x. Again here we'll do train test split. So train test split. After train test split, what we'll do is here I've taken 0.20 as test size, which means 20% of the data. So after that, we'll use a random forest classifier. So yeah, I think on day 4 or day 3, we used decision tree classifier. Here we'll use a random forest classifier. So guys, I'll explain you random forest classifier, how it works and all once we run this. So basically there's like just another classifier which is trying to take all the sort of features and uh, see which label fits the best, and it is classifying it. So that is what we'll do. And just like we do a fit function. So the till here I think everything is very very clear, and everything is very like common for you guys, because this is what we've been doing since the past 6 days. So till here it is fine. Here we'll fit the model so that it basically runs the training set on the model itself, which means the model gets trained. So here what happens is, I'll tell you. Line number 34, create a pickle file for the classifier. So guys, basically what we have to do is, every time we run the model, we have to store the output somewhere. We have to, or else we have to basically store the instance of the model somewhere. So what we'll do is, we'll create a pickle file. So what is pickling generally? Anybody knows what is pickling? Let me see the chat if anybody knows what is pickling. Guys, anyone knows what is pickling? Okay, one person is telling, converting data into binary format. You're close. You're close. It's not exactly that. Some person said related to CSV. No, it's not related to CSV. So basically, I'll tell you what pickling is. Pickling is nothing but where an object is being converted to a byte stream. Not exactly binary, but a byte stream. It's not just what do we say? Uh, One set of binary data. It is a complete stream. So it is like, let's say I have an object that should be, what do we say, passed as a sort of what do we say, easiest and the lightest and the most efficient data. So that is basically called as byte. So basically byte is like the lightest and the sort of, what do we say, most uh, easily transferable data, right? So what we'll do is, we'll convert that into a byte stream. So if you don't know what pickling is, simply I'll tell you in a very easy way. So guys, what we have to do is, we have to uh, give input to our model, get output from our model. So in this case, we have to use the model as a, what do we say, inputting and output giving person. So that is why we use pickle, so that easily we can communicate with the model. Got it? And this thing, what it will do is, it will convert this complex object, because guys, generally our model is what, it is Python code. So we cannot always rerun the code, it will take a lot of time. So basically what is happening is, here we are converting into a very lighter format, which is called as a byte stream. So basically pickling is nothing, it is simply creating your what do we say, Python object into a very simple code, very, very simple machine level code, very simple, which is basically bytes. So that is what pickling is. Somebody said byte code. Yeah, yes, byte. And this is not something like compressing or defragmentation. It's not that. That comes under like optimizations and all, but this is not compressing or defragmentation or anything. So this is basically converting from one type to other. That's it. And pickling is where specifically we convert into byte stream, so that our, what do we say, full-fledged Python object becomes a byte stream. So that is why we pickle it. So what we are doing is pickling it, storing it in a proc file. So whenever uh, why are we doing that? Okay, one person is saying, why are we doing that? Just like I said, I explained it in the previous two lines. Our model is heavy, it is complete Python code. So this cannot be run every single time whenever we want to do. So the moment I click a button, I should get a prediction. So passing the data becomes very tough. It takes time, it takes energy, it is not efficient. That is the very reason we convert it into a very easy and a very simple, and a very simple to what do we say, send and receive type of format, which is obviously what, byte. And bytes are obviously very, very light, very light. So that is the reason why we are doing pickling on this. So if you guys generally basically type in what do we say, Google that why pickling is used, you will get a word called as serializing. So it says that you are serializing your object. So all of these terms will make sense once you understand what is going on behind it. So the reason why we use a pickle model is so that you can basically dump and you can load it. You can sort of, what do we say, mm, save our model and load our model. Dump is nothing but saving, and loading, of course, it is loading. So to load and unload the model and use it very easily in a very efficient way, we use pickling. So that is the use case. Also, I said why do we use it, and also I said why it is being used. So, any other questions? If not, I'll continue it. So, yep. Let me reshare my screen. All right. So yeah, as you can see here, what we are doing is we are taking a file name. I'm calling it diabetes prediction RFC model. So I'm simply dumping it, which means I'm putting it on the disk. I'm like locally storing it somewhere. I'm calling it classifier and sort of storing it using pickle.dump. Simply I'm storing it on the disk. So whatever we have to do, we have to do it using a pickle file. Wherever I want to use it, I can simply do pickle.load and I'll call classifier, it will come off. So that is what I'm doing in something called as app.py. So just like you can see guys, here I want to use it. So I'm telling that pickle.load, open the file name. So by using pickle.dump we are saving it, and pickle.load we are losing it, loading it. So that is what we do. So if you guys understood the uh, machine learning code, I'll go to the HTML code and I'll show you how we should give the input. So as you can see guys, here in the machine learning code itself, we are giving an array of inputs, and basically here we are not like sort of, what do we say, specifically explicitly giving an input. We are simply giving it to the model and directly getting the output. So I'll also show you how that is happening. So I'll just a minute. What is reading? Yeah. So till here what we did, we had three steps. Step one was create a model which can be used across our web app. So what we did, we created a random forest classifier. We used pickle to dump it and load it. Wherever we need, we can load and feed it input. Done. So step one is done. Step two, how will the user give input? Give the input to the model. So let's create a UI for that, and let's create a UI for that first, and then let's use a Flask function to communicate the UI with the model, right? And vice versa. So guys, what will happen is, firstly we'll create a UI, control P HTML. All right, so I created a basic HTML app in which what am I doing is, uh guys, I'm not willing to go deep into HTML. I hope you guys know some of it, or else if you guys don't know what exactly it is, this is what builds up the front end. Front end is something that is visible on the screen, everything, all the buttons, fields, uh all the colorful stuff whichever you see on the screen, it builds that up. So what we need in this thing is this. So here what am I doing is, I'm taking a ML container. I'm calling it ML container. I'm simply taking something called as an ML container in which I'll have a set of input fields. So I'm taking a form. guys, every day you are filling a attendance form, right? You also filled a registration form. So in that you had text fields which in which you entered a different sort of details, a lot of text fields in which you entered different details. Just like that, we, according to the data set, let's also have a look at the data set. Control P. Where is this? Libraries. Yeah, as you can see here, we have these exact things as input. So here we are taking that exact things as input: number of pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, DPF, and age. So we'll take these as input field. So basically, this is how you define an input field. So now, with this input field, what will happen is the user will be able to enter something. So let me run and show you how this look like. Before that, what I'll do is I'll also explain you the backend, how it happens. So after the input fields, I'll have a submit button. So as you can see here, I'm calling it my CTA button. So it is a CTA, which means call to action button. When I click it, it will the it will like sort of call some action to it, and it is basically a submit button. So all of these values will be submitted, and I'll show you how that will happen. So here, as you can see, guys, there is something called as action, and there is a method called as post. So this is basically a post call. Uh, so there are kind of, what do we say, different sort of API calls: get, put, post, um delete. So all of these calls, I'll tell you what they are, but basically this is the place where we are grabbing the input from and sending it to the middleman, which is our backend, and that backend will send it to the machine learning model and will fetch the response from there and send it to the UI back. So this is something called as a Flask app. So here what I did is imported Flask, imported Pickle again because we have to load our model from there. I hope till here, guys, you are fine with it. In the UI part, anyone has any errors? Any questions, guys? Any questions till here? I'm having a look at the chat. Send the repo, please. Yes, I'll send the repo. Just a minute. I'll send the repo. I didn't even host it yet, so I'll send the repo. Just a minute. I think I have it already on my GitHub. Let me check. Uh, okay, so what does post method mean? Okay, I'll tell you. So guys, there are like different methods to call an API. So API is in the sense, like, there is something on the internet which we need to grab. All right, something which is live on the internet, and we need to grab some stuff from there. So basically what we do is we use different sort of API calls. So one of it is get. So get is used only to grab code. We write some function and it only grabs the data, which means it simply gets the data. And post is something in which we have to send something to get data. For example, login. Basically, you guys log in into Instagram, log in into a lot of social media accounts. You send the ID and password to the backend, and in return, it sends some data which will log you inside the application. So that is post. Get is nothing. Get is like, what do we say? Simply, uh, mm, when you directly open Instagram app or any application without touching any button, without doing anything, you'll get something on the screen. That is basically get. Without doing anything, you'll simply get data. Without sending anything, you will do an action. Definitely, you will do an action. You'll press a button, you'll do something, but without sending anything to the uh, internet, or basically the API, basically the backend, you'll get something, which is get. And post is something in which you have to send something. In our case, what are we sending? We are sending a list of inputs. So guys, um One person has asked, why should instead can I use threads? Okay guys, using threads, it is like another vague topic. So basically, to use I think bytecode is having much more execution speed than threads. I'm not sure, but if there are intensive tasks, like what do we say, where your GPUs or TPUs, tensor processing units, can be put to like real use, I think then I think you should use threads or something. But for this thing, byte stream is more than enough. So guys, if you guys are following till here, let's continue to the Flask app. And guys, please try to put the attendance link as well in the chat, any of the volunteers, because it's already 9:55. So all right guys, let's continue in the code, and let's try to run it before we get run out of time. So here in the app, I'm doing nothing guys. Basically, here, look at this. If the request method is post, then I'm simply uh, taking these values which have been sent from the UI. So all of these are int, some of them are float. So I'm basically taking these values which have been sent from the UI, and in a numpy array, I'm passing it to the classifier. The classifier is nothing but our uh, ML model which we have made. So how did this come here is because I loaded it using pickle. I made a model, I simply loaded it, and I'm using the dot predict function like we did. Guys, go back to all the previous classes. We used dot predict function to on the model. Remember that I think on day three or day something we used some decision tree classifier. We took it as DTC or DCT something decision tree classifier. So we did CLF classifier dot fit to fit the model, classifier dot predict to make predictions. So exactly like that, what we are doing here is we are taking a variable called as my prediction, and we are feeding this data which comes from the front end using this method as an array to the classifier, and whatever prediction comes, we are simply throwing it in something called as result.html. Now I'll tell you how result.html will be. I'll show you guys. So result.html is simply like two different UIs. If I'll tell you, see, if prediction is one, as you can see, if prediction is one, it will show something called as oops, you have diabetes. Okay. If prediction is zero, it will show something called as great, you don't have diabetes. Got it? So this is very very simple. Again, if we go back to our data set, as you can see here, there is 1 0 1 0 1 0. So basically what we are doing here is a basic classification, and if the result of the prediction is 1, then the person is in the risk. If not, then the person is not. So basically, if you guys are very very clear till here, what I'll do is I'll go to the code and I'll try to run it. So, guys, can you please drop some rockets in the chat? Drop rockets. So, by that, I'll come to know that you have understood till here, and I will run the code. Also, one person has asked, why are we using NumPy array? Because see, what do we say, our machine learning model will not understand a general array. You should send it as a numpy array. Numpy is nothing but numerical Python. So whatever mathematical operations we do on the machine learning model, it should be in numpy. And generally guys, if we feed a Excel file directly, and if we try to insert a column or something, it won't accept. You have to feed it as a pandas data frame, because that is how our machine learning model will understand. So make sure you keep this on the note that whatever mathematical operations we are doing it using numpy, and whatever numerical stuff we do, feeding numbers to it, using number operations and all, everything should be done as a sort of numpy operation, so that our machine learning model understands it. All right, perfect guys, so let's go run the code quickly and I'll show you how it will look like. So let me present my whole screen. So to run this, what you have to do is, I'll show you. I'll present my entire screen. Okay. So basically, guys, to run this, you have to open terminal. You have to go to terminal. You have to go inside this. What do we call? You have to go inside the project. Project file, basically project folder. So you have to go inside it. So if you have something like this, you might have C. You basically, what you have to do is like cd, it is in some folder called as my stacks. So in that there is something called as AIML, and here you can go type a slash and simply do tab. When you do keep hitting the tab, you will get a lot, like you'll get whatever files are there inside this folder. So I think somewhere I'll have diabetes prediction. Fast, fast, fast. Oops. So firstly I'll go inside AIML, then I'll do tab. Okay, here you go. So I have diabetes prediction deployment. I'll do cd diabetes prediction deployment. So I came inside this. Now what I have to do is I'll simply type python app.py and I'll hit enter. So yeah, now as you can see, serving Flask app. Now it is serving it. As you can see, debugger is active and it gives a warning saying that this is a deployment server, don't use in production, which means this is basically all deployment and we cannot use it for deploying the application uh, on, like, what do we say, the live server. So there's completely development. So whatever we do here is development. For production, for deployment, we have to use something else. So once I press hold on control and press on this link, here we go, this opens in a tab and yeah, we get a beautiful UI. And just like we did, we got our 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 inputs, just like we were expecting. So just a minute, guys, hold on. Also, guys, if someone spams something called as attendance or something, I'm directly banning that person from the chat. Please do not spam. There are a lot of people who are putting some concentration and focus. So let's not spam stuff. So volunteers, please send the attendance link right now in the chat. Can you guys hear me? A thumbs up or something. Volunteers.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
yes.
we'll be sending it.
All right, perfect. So please put off the attendance link. And if anyone again spams the chat for attendance or something like certificate and all, guys, directly put them on timeout. All right, sorry for doing this, but have to keep it healthy and maintain the decorum and all. So let's go ahead, let's go and see how our deployed application looks like. Sorry, not deployed, but how our developed application looks like. So guys, basically this is how it is. So all this nice stuff and all, I've designed it in CSS and all. So basically here what we do is uh, put the input, and once we click predict, it will take us to the next screen telling if somebody has diabetes or not. So what I'll do is I'll try to um, check if this is working in real time or not. So I'll present the entire screen. I'll also have the data set right beside this thing. So I'll present the entire screen. So guys, can you see the data set as well? So I'll put this on the right and I'll put the data set on the left. So guys, can somebody confirm me and tell that if you can see the data set?
Yes,
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 no.
we can see it.
All right, perfect. So what I'll do is the first one is 1, which means if I go back to the code and see, um, having a 1 means that, where is the result? Having a 1 means that this person has diabetes. So uh, here the outcome is 1 and these are the entries. So what I'll do is I'll exactly take number of pregnancies are 2, glucose is 138, and blood pressure is 62, and then skin thickness is 35. Insulin is 0. Very interesting. That I think was a NaN value. So I'll take it as it is. BMI is 33.6. DPF is 0.127. And the age is 47. So guys, basically here, once we predict this, algorithm should be saying, according to the data set itself, it should be predicting that this person has diabetes. So let's see what happens. Yes, exactly. Whatever we thought, it worked out. So now let's play around with this using some random values, some really, really random values. So I went back. I'll simply reload this thing. All right. So these things are refreshed. So guys, I think a lot of you are filling attendance. So I'll give you around like 5 minutes or so to fill it, and you can come back and see this thing. Until then, if you have any questions still here, you can ask. It's already 10:05. So um, we'll have a nice discussion. Till then, guys, in the chat, I'll put the GitHub repository link for this thing. There should be diabetes predictor web app. Here you go. Guys, fork this repository, make some nice improvements to it. Please try to make it better. I would love to accept your PR. So please try to make it better and better. Do whatever you want to do with this repository. Use better coding algorithms or something like, work up your magic on that. So here you go, guys. This is the GitHub repository, or you can simply go to my GitHub and search for diabetes prediction, and you will get it. One person is asking, have you made any other IoT based projects and uploaded to your GitHub? I have not uploaded to my GitHub, but there are a lot of them I made. There was a time when I used processing 5, which is now I think processing JS. So I've also used that to make a lot of stuff. And guys, if you are asking about certificate, everybody is getting it. Don't worry, everybody. If you fill any one attendance form out of 1 to 7 days till here, everybody will get it. You need not worry. But we will cross verify. We'll verify your name from the attendees list, also from the registration, and from multiple places, and then we will release it. So done, guys. I think let's go back to our code and go back to our application and see how the stuff is working. So guys, basically this is the GitHub repository of it, and if you have any problem here, please raise an issue. You can directly raise an issue. As you can see here, there is already an issue raised, where a person is saying that it is preferable to make your UI much more interactive from user perspective. So one person is also saying that, can you assign this to me? So just like that, you can have a nice sort of uh, conversation over here. So that is one thing. And also guys, if you contribute to this and your PR gets accepted, on the right, as you can see here, you have contributors. You can see your name there, which will be like kind of a good thing to I'd feel like uh, a sort of motivation. If you guys contribute to it, I'll feel like, okay, these guys are taking this seriously and doing some contribution on this. So guys, let's go back to the code and see what is happening. So I'll go to the terminal. Okay, so I think our app got stopped. Oops. So what I'll do is I'll run it again to show you the final stuff on how this is working. So yeah, I'll click on this link so that it takes me here. All right, now we'll enter some random values to see if it really happens or not. So let me check up with my own data. So 0. I really don't know how my glucose is. Let's take 90. BP, let's take 120. 20. Insulin, let's take another solid 75. Let's take this 35, and prediction is 0.55 years 23. So let's predict. Oh, thank God. So this is how the UI comes when you don't have diabetes. So guys, basically this is how it is. And of course, in the UI, I mean, sorry, in the code which I gave, you might not be able to see TFUG and GDSE's logos. So guys, please don't worry if these logos don't show up, because that is a very like kind of old code which is like being maintained. It won't be deprecated at all, but you won't be able to see these things. So it is the same, it is exactly the same. Once you open the code, exactly everything will be the same. So as you can also see the logs, guys, as I do stuff in the website, so here also it gets logged. As you can see, a post call happened and it got status 200, which means it was successful. 200 means status okay actually. Then a get call happened where CSS got fetched, and then something called as this uh, G- webp image got fetched. So all of these logs you can see in the terminal as well as in the debug console. Here I'm not debugging it, so it's not in the debug console, it's in the terminal itself. So this is the code, guys. Again, let's summarize it up, because this is what we did. Firstly, what we did is we wrote a predictor in which we exactly did what we did in the past 6 days. We made a model, we trained it, we did a like what do we say, a random forest classifier, and we trained a model. We used pickle to dump the model, which means we saved it in the local disk, in the local storage. And we wrote some HTML for making a form, and some of course cool graphics, not so cool but like basic stuff. So this HTML is going to take the user input, and then this user input will be grabbed by one function which is called as predict, which we wrote in Flask. So basically this Flask function, what is it going to do? It is going to fetch what did we get from the HTML UI, the front end, and as a numpy array, it will pass to the uh, machine learning model. And this machine learning model was again loaded using pickle. So as it is loaded, we'll again sort of what do we say, use the dot predict function like we did of course in the past days also, and then we'll make a prediction, and whatever prediction was there, it will be used to render the corresponding result page. And in the result page we have a function where if the prediction is 1, we are returning oops you have diabetes, and if the prediction is 0, we are returning that great you don't have diabetes. So guys, basically this was the project, and this was how we generally deploy, like use machine learning algorithms in the front end, and use a backend so that this both can communicate. So guys, basically this was it. And if you have any questions still here, please try to ask. And of course today is the last day of ML bootcamp, and there are typos. Yes, there are typos. Yeah, we'll fix it. I made it in a hurry, so there are kind of typos. I will fix it. So guys, last day of ML bootcamp. It's really bad to see you guys go, but we'll stay connected. And guys, a very um interesting announcement for you guys. Tomorrow we'll have a follow-up session where we will take it on a Google Meet, so that you guys can talk back, you guys can give your feedback, and also you guys can um, tell us how your experience was, and we could discuss stuff. So also guys, another bomb I want to throw you at your face. I'm telling it now because most of the interested people stay till the end. So guys, we will send you a feedback form on your mail. So if you have registered, if you have filled any one attendance form at least to your mail, 100% will get a feedback, you will get a feedback form. And only if you fill that feedback form, you will get the certificate, resources document, and the links to all the 6 7 days of uh, Kaggle notebooks. So That's the catch, guys. And if you don't know that this is happening, please share this with your friend. If some of your friends are like leaving in between, so please tell that this is how you'll happen. So whatever happens, uh, it should, I mean, sorry, what was I trying to tell? Yeah, whatever you guys are gonna get, it is going to be depending on the feedback form. So, hmm, one person asked, can we change the ML project and post? Yeah, please. It is open source. It is completely open source. One person is saying you're cruel. That is not cruel. That is smart. Thank you, guys. So, also, it need see the reason is to grab attention. We have to do this sort of stuff, or else people will literally feel like knowledge is like layman knowledge is not at all worth it. Just swags and just like what do we say, certificates mean a lot, guys. Let me tell you a very straight point. I had like hundreds of certificates, technical, non-technical. None of a certificate helped me in any interview. Just knowledge did. Great DSA, great understanding, and very good projects, very good understanding of how stuff works. That will help you. So knowledge is very, very important instead of certificates, instead of swags and all. So yeah. So anybody, if you guys want a sort of explanation of anything else, I'm still here for another like legit 10-20 minutes. You guys can ask questions. So guys, if you want to know how random forest works, I might be taking a bit long to explain it, so here you go. I'll share you a link from Turing. Turing is a very good website, so I'll share you a link from Turing which will guide you through how random forest classification actually works. So you can use this. One person asked, where can we see the accuracy and the other stuff of this model like we did while training the model? Very good question. Very good question. Here, I did not, like, what do we say, explicitly took care of the accuracy. So, generally, how it happens is, I'll tell you how stuff happens. There is one ML engineer who makes a ML model. That person takes care of everything, accuracy, precision, everything, and delivers that ML model to the backend person so that that person can what do we say, do the sort of all the backend magic and make sure the front end communicates to this ML model. So that is how stuff happens. That's the very reason I explained you this thing using HTML and Flask and explicitly writing a predictor in Python, or else I could have simply used Streamlit or something to do that. But no, this is the general hierarchy and this is how it goes. So, how much DSA is required to become an ML engineer? Asks Sri Sai Arjun. A lot. That's the only answer I can give. I really don't know. See, there is no limit to anything, but it is not also something like you blindly do that. You have to understand stuff. See, I am a very bad person. Being honest, I'm very bad at writing logic. I'm bad at DSA. I'm admitting this on a live. Literally like admitting this. So I'm a bad person at logic, but my logic writing skill is like okay-ish. It is something like okay, काम करेगा. So that is how it is. So you need to have basic understanding of stuff. So there is one person who always used to nag me to read documentation and know how stuff internally works. So that helped me a lot. So guys, whatever you do, be it DSA, be it anything, you have to learn it inside out, see how stuff actually works. So any other questions, guys? One person says it is really hard to say bye to you, sir. Please don't call me sir, you can call me Moin, uh, because I don't call my seniors sir. So you can call me anything except sir, whatever is respectful. So of course it is also hard to say bye to you guys because it was very, very good. It was very good sitting like this, taking some time out of my regular boring life every day, teach you guys something. So can you do bootcamp for DSA for beginners? I have a lot of friends who do that. I might not be able to do it like uh, properly. So I'll make sure I'll take this suggestion. Thank you for this suggestion. I'll um, slip a word to my friends. I'll see who is better in delivering these kind of sessions, and I'll make sure one sort of this thing happens. Okay. One person simply said finite automata. What do you like? So you want me to tell about finite automation, finite state machine, I think we call it. So what do you want me to do about it? So mm, for DSA, C++ or Java, I I really don't know, guys. This is like a tough call for me also, because I've been doing DSA in Python and Dart. I basically do very less logic. I do very less logic. So I've been doing it in Python and Dart because those were my tech stacks. I do ML and Flutter. So DSA and Dart. Sorry, I mean uh, Dart and Python. One person is asking, what is your take on AI replacing software engineers? Let me tell you a very definite and a very certain thing, that till the next 15 or 20 years, no software can replace a human, because there should be one person who should be monitoring it, using it, and definitely there should be someone who should be maintaining software. There cannot be direct intervention. But guys, definitely, what do we say, you need to learn skill. For example, let's say that there is a person who doesn't know how to work efficiently using chat gpt and all, but then there is a person who works efficiently using all these what do we say, AI softwares and all. You need to know which is the right way to use it, what is the efficient way to use it, because see, a lot of companies don't allow their employees to use copilots, because the code which copilots and all these gpts give is way below their standards. Yes, way below their standards. And if you use ChatGPT for coding, it gives you outdated code. If I think the latest version of Flutter is 3.19, and if I ask ChatGPT of something from Flutter 3.19, it won't give me the answer. So that is how it is. So some person who can work efficiently might replace you, but some software which is simply fugazi cannot replace you, at least in the next 20 or 25 years, 100%. Also, guys, if you see the latest version of TensorFlow is 2.16, and just like that, if we see ChatGPT doing that, I mean, sorry, if ChatGPT's data is not updated to TensorFlow 2.16, it won't give us answers based on that. Can we expect any meetup? Yes, yes, yes. We have a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of things. But for now, we are focused on content based things like ML Olympiad, like boot camps, so where you guys can go back and learn. So, of course, 100% we'll be having super cool meetups, but we are expecting huge audience, huge audience. So, guys, definitely we will. If you guys are in Hyderabad, 100% we'll be having super cool meetups. And last year was very, very good for us because every month we did one meetup, every single month, and it was very good. So, buddy, volunteers, some person has to have some problem with the attendance sheet. Please check it up. Any other questions, guys? So there is one person who's asking, how do you think quantum computing will change the industry. Okay, guys. So, firstly, for that you need to totally understand quantum computing, and of course quantum computing is not something which uh, you guys can easily understand, because even I'm trying to do a lot of research on that. So it's been around a lot of time, I think around 1.5 year, that me and my uh, there is another person called as Bilal, who is the organizer of TFUG Hyderabad. I'm the co-organizer, like we both run the show together. So we both have been doing a lot of research on quantum computing, and there is still a lot to learn. But I think in cryptography and security, quantum computing would break a lot of barriers, a lot, because it gives next level of security, and of course quantum resistant cryptography is going to be a very good thing. And also AIML is where quantum computing is of course supercharging everything. It is supercharging ML models. It is like um, doing a very good work in data analysis, which is ultimately serving for decision making. So that is where quantum computing will definitely skyrocket again. And there are a lot of different places like STEM, material science, and a lot of places where it has a very good future. So again, my personal opinion. So one person is asking, how did I get into Google with average Ds? I'm not working for Google. Guys, I don't work for Google. I work for a company called as Xora Group. So yes, there also I was interviewed in DSA, and somehow I was able to crack it. Um, so I don't work for Google. I'm sort of, what do we say? I'm running a community which is backed by Google. How will it take? Uh, One person is asking, how long will it take to get job ready in ML? I'm not at all sure, buddy. It depends on your capability. I cannot do a prediction on how much your capability is, but what I will tell you to do is, number one, be very good at logic writing skills. Number two, be very good at understanding how stuff works, which is sort of, what do we say, making your projects, making your sort of ML models better. That is where you will be able to understand how to use what and on what data. That sort of data acumen, that sort of business acumen, you'll get it by doing uh, solving problems basically. So if you have these two things, solving good logic and doing good sort of code, that's it. You're going to uh, ace it off. DevOps on your opinion. This person wrote DevOps on your onion. So, be it on onion, be it on tomato, DevOps guys are like uh, lifesavers, and they literally stay awake the whole night to do one deployment. So DevOps is something like, it is vast, guys. It is very vast. It is huge. So if you start learning AWS today, till I think the next 1 year or something, you'll still be learning. So every DevOps guy is like ever learning, because not only AWS, every cloud platform, every DevOps platform has a lot of features, a lot of features. So guys, it is very promising role. It is, of course, it has a very good scope in the future as well for jobs and all, but it comes with its own challenges. Like for DevOps, generally in some sort of companies there are rotational shifts, in some companies there are not. So it comes with every single job, every single role comes with its own pros and cons. So definitely for all the developers, wherever you guys are working, pros are better than cons. So DevOps is like pretty vast, and you guys should explore it. You guys should definitely explore it. You guys have to have basic knowledge of everything. Like I am a ML and Flutter developer, but I have basic DevOps knowledge, like how instances work, how, from where is my assets, from where are they coming, how EC2 works, how sort of, what do we say, compute engine works. We call it compute engine in this thing, GCP. So, and also how data storage, data lakes, data warehousing, how does it work? So this, having basic knowledge will definitely help you. So one person is asking, is it necessary to learn and understand math for the algorithms? Yes, it is necessary to understand math. You need not be like super good at it. You need not be like, what do we say, uh, be the math bug, but having a basic understanding, like what is happening behind it, what is a formula involved, that will help you. So guys, if you don't understand math, we have something called as ML maths clubs also, which are organized by TFUGs, GEs, and of course all the ML communities. So uh, in ML math clubs, there will be one resource person who will be explaining you how ML for, like, sorry, math for ML works. So let's try to plan up that someday. Um, I'll sit with my team and try to plan up ML math clubs. And just like you guys said, also offline meetups, I'll try to plan up. And if you guys are in Hyderabad, please try to come. Have a eye on our social media channels. Please go follow them. Can you please share your LinkedIn account? Oh, sure, buddy. Why not? I would love to connect with you guys. Please don't spam me. Please don't put a lot of texts because I find really less time. I'm not even taking calls of my best friends. So I find really less time from office and all. So I might not be able to reply you in the first go, but definitely I'll try to reply. So here you go, guys. Can you tell a few more ML clubs and put in? Of course, let me put all the ML clubs in this. Firstly, there are ML study jams. So study jams are like month-long study jams. Then there come uh, ML paper reading clubs where we read papers, research papers. Then we have ML paper writing clubs where we write research papers. Then we have ML math clubs where we learn math for machine learning. So these are the things which are completely online and they spam for a very long time. It's like, what do we say, at least for 3 to 4 weeks. So these guys are like long but very interesting and very rich in knowledge. So guys, whenever we, how can we join actually, these are not clubs which you can join. I'll tell you how this works. Basically, we start organizing them. Do they have YouTube channel? All of them, all these clubs will be hosted on TFUG Hyderabad's YouTube channel when we organize it. So guys, what happens is we find one time frame, we plan a track. We basically, just like how this boot camp happened, this boot camp is exactly the replica of that, but it will happen on a shorter basis. But that will be something like every one of you will be kind of interacting or something like that. So but they will go for a bit longer time. So that is how all these clubs work. And see, paper writing clubs are basically meant for higher level of audience who are like sort of pursuing their PhD or masters in ML, or maybe who have a very great knowledge of ML, who can write research papers. So that is like next level. But I think paper reading clubs, study jams, and math clubs are for everyone. How can you join them, guys? Actually, we organize them just like we do events. Suppose like exactly like this boot camp, once we start organizing it, uh, it will go for a month or so, and then you can join them in between anytime. Like if you join them in the starting first couple of days itself, it'll fetch you very good audience, I mean, sorry, very good knowledge. Any other questions, guys? So yeah, last day of our bootcamp, and I'm very thankful for everyone. It feels really an immense delight to what do we say? So that you guys stayed till here, and also kudos to all the people who stayed till the end. So thank you so much, guys. You guys like made my day. This was a very indeed a very resourceful, a very resourceful thing which we had together. So kudos to all the team behind this who organized stuff, and kudos to everyone who right from day one till the day 7, you guys consistently were there. And thanks to each and every person behind this who made this successful, guys. Heartfelt thanks to one of like I cannot take all the names. I can see very very familiar names who are attending every day, but each and every one of you, thank you so much, guys. So here we go. We finally end this thing, and um, if anyone wants to speak something, if anyone wants to uh, tell something, you guys are open to do that, and we can have a nice discussion. So also I'd like one of you or some of you to put how your review, how was it. Definitely will send a review form to take a detailed review, but you can share your review. How was that? If we can improve, what you guys expect from us, can should we bring more of such content, more of such uh, events, so that we could teach you guys. So your reviews are very very appreciated. I can see a lot of things in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And also, guys, I'm not very, very enthusiastic online. If any one of you has attended any of my sessions offline, you know how I am, how energetic I am. So, guys, GDSE Wow is coming. A very huge shout out to GDSE Wow. It might be happening in the mid of April at JNTUH. So, the registration forms are already out. So, guys, three huge shout outs. Number one, shout out to Jugaad Hacks. Number two, shout out to ML Olympiad, and number three, shout out to GDSE Wow. So guys, all these three things, guys, please go participate. They are very very exciting, and uh, a lot of stuff is going to come up. So thank you so much for a very very nice review, guys. Thank you so much. It was indeed very good fun that we had together. So thank you so much for such nice words. Also, guys, tomorrow in the WhatsApp community itself, we'll share the what do we say, Google Meet link. Tomorrow, you guys, whoever are interested, only whoever are interested to have a follow-up discussion can join. Others, you need not join. You guys can carry on with all of your regular stuff, and people, definitely we will be giving you all the sort of resources, certificates, whatever you need. Definitely we will share you after you fill the feedback form. So guys, we will share the feedback form anytime soon, in the next couple of days. Once we share that, please do fill it. And once you fill it, you will be receiving a follow-up email on which you will be having all the sort of resources, all the sort of um uh, links to which we generally did in these 6 days. All the Kaggle notebook links and all, everything will be there inside. So stay tuned, guys. We will be coming up with more and more such events, more and more such uh, very interactive stuff. So guys, stay tuned, and please keep an eye on all of our channels. You can simply search for TFUG Hyderabad on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on wherever you are active. So you can simply search for that and follow us. Keep an eye so that you guys stay updated of um, upcoming events. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for staying. Thank you so much for staying. Thank you so much for such a kind words. I will accept all of your invites. Um, Definitely, we'll connect on LinkedIn, and of course, in the future, we'll stay connected. So, guys, it was a very successful boot camp. I loved talking to you guys, and it was amazing. Without you guys, it wouldn't have been a success. So, thank you so much, and special thanks to all the leads of all the Google Developer Student Clubs, all the chapters who have been like uh, my, what do we say, co-workers, who have been like been my co-brothers, and of course who have been working tirelessly to make this a success. A special mention to GDSE, SVREC, GDSE, MBU, GDSE, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, and a lot of other GDSEs. Very, very special mention to all the leads who have been making this collaboration and bootcamp a success, and a very, very special mention to all the audience, a very lovely audience who have made this successful. Thank you so much, guys. It was uh, very amazing to have you, and hope you all have a very good night. Here we uh, end this. It is hard to say goodbye, but um, कहीं कहीं पहुंचने के लिए कहीं से निकलना जरूरी होता है. So guys, we have a lot of much better stuff coming up. We have ML study jams, which will be generally like a full zero to hero course over the span of a month. And then, of course, we have paper reading clubs where we'll dive much deeper into ML research. And of course, ML Olympiad is running on full Josh. So, guys, please go participate in ML Olympiad. And soon we will be dropping a YouTube video on how to make a full and final submission and how to resolve errors, and some tips and tricks definitely to how to crack up ML Olympiad. So, guys, till then, I'll take you leave. My name is Muhammad Moinuddin from TensorFlow User Group Hyderabad. Thank you so much. Have a very good night.